Here we are again. Here we are again. This is Stephen D. Lyles at the Marion Garner Show podcast on your Spotify, your Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else that you get your podcasts. Umar Jim Jones Johnson, Rose now on the HVAC scam. Now this guy's Rose, as in Rick Ross. So now this guy, see, Umar, his problem is he's not a builder. And it gets me when he gets at his critics and say, "Oh, what are you building?" Umar Johnson hasn't built anything. He bought an abandoned property. He hasn't built anything. This guy just want to be a celebrity. He doesn't really want to help black people. He want to help himself. He want to help himself to lower income black people money, ignorant black people money, and women's cookies. That's all Umar Johnson has in store for himself. You see, unfortunately, for Umar, his life is not even on a good path and is only headed down a worse path. See, at the end of the day, none of this is going to come out to be good for him because it's not good now. He's freezing his ass off inside of a gym. And this guy, if you notice, a builder has a team around him constantly when he's promoting. But this guy doesn't have anything around him. There's no team. There's no nothing. It's always just him. There's no director. There's no one who he promotes and sets up there and speak their name who's doing the digital work. There's no one who's doing the media work. There's no one who's building websites to promote this. There's no nothing. All this is just a big scam. And the messed up part is that a lot of people just don't see it because they don't want to see it. You see, sometimes when a man comes up with a good idea and then he speaks on it constantly but gives nothing, but all he has to do is speak, a lot of uneducated black folks will fall for it. They will fall for it because it's no different than the preachers, what they do in the church. The so called church and so called preachers, they're one and the same. Umar Johnson and the fake preachers are one and the same. They tell you what you want to hear, they make you believe, and when they're cornered in, when what they say don't come to fruition, they extend the lie. It's just like when I was brought up in a Jehovah's Witnesses organization. When something doesn't happen that they say, they just they don't even reinvent themselves over again. They just extend the lie. That's what makes it so easy to see that this guy is just another scammer. This, if you haven't heard it, the recent Umar Johnson on the HVAC. But now he's saying that the HVAC is not going to be ready because now in these 90 days to be customized. That's not true. That's not how it works. You order an HVAC system, you pay the money, you pay the people who are bringing it and to install it, and that's that. It's over with. Companies do this any and every day. If you go down Center City, you go right there to, what is it, 11th and Chestnut, and you can see the building that they're building. These people are not waiting around for anything. They pay the money to get the materials that they need, and that's just what it is. It get installed, and they go on to the next work in progress. Umar Johnson has been talking about this HVAC for about 4 years now. 4 years. That's what it takes. 4 years. So I'm not sure any other company, school or otherwise, that took 4 years to purchase and install an HVAC system. It's never been. It never will be for anybody who's serious about building something. Umar Johnson's not a builder, he's a scammer. But this is Umar Johnson today, or just what is this, 4 days ago. He loves to stare. And I don't know what that's about, but it's disturbing to say the least.
Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism, peace and Pan-Africanism. Good God be day to everyone. This is the Prince of Pan-Africanism, King Kong Consciousness, Dr. Umar Tunde. We live and direct, Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. We live and direct.
Another thing, when people always have, like, I grew up in South Philadelphia. I moved to Ghana and Nigeria, and I moved to Ghana in 2010, Nigeria a few years after that, and back and forth. In Nkrumah, yes, I read about him, I studied some of the greats in West Africa. I don't put their names in anything that it is that I'm doing, because I'm not associated with them. But Umar, see, this is what scammers do. They link themselves to names that are known, because they don't feel like they could build a name on their own. So long as he feels like he could link his name to people like Marcus Garvey and such forth, Frederick Douglass and all that, he feels that it's easier for him to seem legit when it's really not. It shows that you call yourself the world's most requested black scholar, which you are not. No one's requesting you. You're begging people to speak at their daycare centers. The world's most requested scholar of any race is not out there begging people to give them an audience and let them use their daycare centers that is used for children to sit there and speak for free. That's just not so. If it is, you can show me anyone else who's doing that. Umar Johnson is a bum. He's a leech. He's a leech on our community. But let's go.
Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. We live and direct. Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. I received a request to reiterate the principles of revolutionary Pan-African nationalism. I have received a request to reiterate the principles.
When he say request, what he means is that a comment by just anybody. So he's going on a comment that was made on one of his live streams.
Of revolutionary Pan-African nationalism, brothers and sisters. I'm at the school getting work done. Trying to get this HVAC handled.
Again.
Trying to get this HVAC handled, plumbing handled. We're trying to get this work done, family. We in the building. Hit the Cash App, $FD.
He's trying to get the work done, but yet he wants you to hit the Cash App. He's trying to get the work done, but he's focused on Cash App. He's focused on donations. Umar Johnson will never give you anything back for your dollar. Nothing. All he knows is Cash App and PayPal. That's it. He's talking about the plumbing. Later on in this video, you will see him take a call that many calls have been made to Umar Johnson about doing plumbing for free. But he doesn't want it, because he doesn't want to have to hold up to any scenario where, okay, now you got free work done. Where's the school? Why it's not open? Because that would interrupt with the scam. That would interrupt the scam. So therefore, he has to keep it going that we need this, we need that. He's not going to take anything for free, because he's not going to do it at all. He's going to tell you that it needs to be done because he needs some money to get it done. So in order to get the money, you guys have to keep donating. But if someone came to do it for free, which a lot of people had offered throughout the years, he hasn't taken nothing, no one up on their offer. Because he understands that there's no money in that. If they come do it for free, then how am I going to scam them and say that, oh, I need this done because it ain't working? Because if somebody come and do it, they're like, oh, we did all that. Now you have to open the school. Umar Johnson knows the scam that he's running. It's too bad that his followers don't know.
FDMG School, hit the Cash App, $FDMG School, hit the PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy, hit the PayPal, PayPal.me/FDMG Academy. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, you up next. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Western PA, Eastern Ohio. I will see you all in Pittsburgh on Wednesday. God willing. Pittsburgh, Wednesday, January the 26th. Community Empowerment Association. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Wednesday, January the 26th. Community Empowerment Association. 7120 Kelly Street. 7120 Kelly Street. 7120 Kelly Street in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, this coming Wednesday, January the 26th. Free event, no tickets are necessary. Children are welcome. Doors open up at 4. Lecture from 5 to 7. Doors open up at 4. Lecture from 5 to 7. Book signing 7 to 10. Doors open up at 4. Lecture 5 to 7. Book signing 7 to 10. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Sunday, January the 30th. Sunday, January the 30th, Shreveport, Louisiana. King Kong Consciousness debut, aka Big Papa, aka Intercontinental Ifa Tunde, aka Revolutionary Rose. AKA Revolutionary Rose. Hit the hashtag Revolutionary Rose. Shreveport, we will be at the Booker T. Washington High School. Shreveport, Sunday, January the 30th, Booker T. Washington High School, 4:30 to 7:30, doors at 3:30. Shreveport, Louisiana, next Sunday, January the 30th, Booker T. Washington High School, located at 2104 Milam. 2104 MILAM in Shreveport. Doors at 3:30 in Shreveport. Booker T. Washington High School, 4:30 to 7:30. Doors at 3:30. DeSoto, Texas. DeSoto, Texas. Saturday, January the 29th. Information will be released next week. DeSoto, Texas.
Information is always going to be released at a later time. If you got this vicinity and everything in order, and you already have the time, 4:30 to 7:30, you have everything set. What's more information needed? You gave the address. What more information is needed? Tell me, because I would like to know.
Saturday, January the 29th. 5 o'clock program in DeSoto. DeSoto, Texas, 5 o'clock. Information will be released next week.
Again, a lot of these so-called venues that he says he's going to speak in when he says he's going to, I don't know, whether it is Alabama, Texas, Virginia, you never see these so-called sermons of his or lectures of his online constantly. You hear him talking on his live all the time. But if he's doing what he says he's doing, it shouldn't be him talking on live all day, every day, begging for donations. His work should speak for itself. Even with speech, given a speech, these things should be shown where they should dominate his social media. That, okay, Umar's giving lectures every week. He's got it uploaded. He's promoting it so other people could see it. But he's not doing any of that because Umar's not serious about anything. The only seriousness about Umar is his talk game. That's it. He's just a talker. He doesn't do anything else. There's nothing else being done.
Principles of Pan-Africanism. If y'all need to reach me, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858. I was already...
Another reason that he gives his number out a lot, because he knows serious people are not going to call him because they know that he's not serious, so he doesn't have to worry about that. Because if they did, they would ask him a lot of questions that he can't answer. Because especially people are professional who've been in this, who understand what it costs to build a school, how to build a school, how to build business, how to build all that. They understand the questions that need to be asked. But his number is going to be given out for those who are women who are older in their 40s and 50s who are thirsty that he knows he can sleep with. So this is the reason and the purpose that he gives his number out. He's not going to take any real calls unless you just suck up to him. And that's it.
In DC last month, you should have been there. I was already in Maryland. I did Maryland 3 times last month. Y'all got to stay. I don't know why y'all missing me. Revolutionary.
Where's the 3 lectures in Maryland last month? Do we have it online? Because if so, can somebody please send it to me?
Rose. Revolutionary Rose. This is Revolutionary Rose coming at you.
Again, King Kong, King Consciousness, whatever it is, now he's Rose. Now he's Rick Ross. You see, this guy wants to be a celebrity so bad. So bad. He can't go off his own name, so he uses other people's name. Not just Marcus Garvey or Frederick Douglass or whatever it is. Now it's Rose, because Rose is known, and he knows that he's not known enough. Umar is a local scammer that is known by very few outside of Philadelphia and Delaware. The only reason he's known at all in Delaware is because the building that's sitting there freezing, and he's sitting there freezing to death. That's why you see the big coat on. Umar Johnson is not a celebrity, but he's a wannabe.
Principles of Pan-Africanism. Principle number 1, all African people are one family. All African people are one family. Whether I'm in Ghana, speaking the Akan language, if I'm in South Africa, speaking Zulu.
Now, in Ghana, the language is Twi. It's not Akan. The native language of the country is Twi. So if he's in Ghana or been to Ghana, which we don't see him giving talks in Ghana, but if he was, he would know that the native tongue is Twi, not Akan.
If I'm in Kenya, speaking the language of the Maasai. If I'm in Puerto Rico, speaking Black Spanish. If I'm in Haiti, speaking French or Patois. If I'm in New York City, speaking Ebonics. Whether I'm in Brazil, speaking Portuguese. Whether I'm light-skinned, whether I'm dark-skinned, whether I'm brown-skinned, whether my eyes are blue or hazel or black, one people. Whether I'm Muslim or Christian or Jehovah's Witness, one people. Whether I'm from the UK or whether I'm from Australia, whether I'm from Canada, all Africans, one people, brothers and sisters.
Now it's funny that he says that all Africans are one people, but the minute you disagree with one single notion of Umar Johnson, then you're not African. You're a coon. How does that work? Because I really don't understand. 1 minute, every black person is African, all over the country, all over the globe. But the minute you have a disagreement, which we all have disagreements, there's no one in this world who's going to fully agree with me. There's no one in this world that I'm going to fully agree with. That's why we work through our differences, work through them and over them in order to accomplish what we need to accomplish together as one group. But this guy doesn't understand that. If you disagree with one notion of whatever it is that he says, you're a coon and you're no longer African. In his mind, he determines this. In his own mind, this is what he determines. Umar is a fraud.
All Africans, one family, and we identify as being African before we identify as being anything else. I said we identify as being African before we identify as being anything else. I'm an African before I'm a Muslim. I'm an African before I'm a Christian. I'm an African before I'm a Hebrew.
That's one more of a thing about Umar Johnson. He doesn't even know what his faith is. 1 minute he's talking Muslim language. 1 minute he's talking so-called Christianity, then Hebrew. Umar Johnson doesn't have a faith that he can stand on. And that's why he's able to do what it is that he does. because he don't feel that he has to answer to a higher power because he doesn't believe in a higher power. Umar Johnson believes that he is the highest power. Have you ever seen um, Tyler Perry's the only show that I actually watched that Tyler Perry ever made or produced, executive produced, whatever it may be, is called Ruthless. And the reason why for that is because I took to that show because it's realistic. Not that everything that happens is like verbatim that a story, but a lot of things, these things happen all over the globe that people pretend themselves to be God or God in flesh, and sickness and atrocities that they commit, and that's what resonates because just like Jim Jones and Robert Koresh and others, I've seen this story even through other countries through stories that we haven't heard. This stuff happens every day. But Umar Johnson reminds me so much of that. A man without real faith, real conviction, no integrity, his spirit will allow him to do any bit of wickedness in order to get himself in a position that he wants to be in, just for himself and no one else. No one else will benefit off anything Umar Jim Jones Johnson is doing, but Umar Johnson alone. And he knows this, but he knows that a lot of people are too ignorant to understand. So that's why he's able to do what he does. And he talks about the very same people who he's like the fake false preachers in these so called churches. But he runs the same game. And that's why the majority of his base, just like the false churches, are made up of 80 to 90% of older women. Because younger people are not going to go for that. They can see right through the bullshit in their lives. But unfortunately, our parents and grandparents are very uneducated and come from an uneducated generation. So they're easily taken. Half of them don't know how to read or write. Those who do, never been able to apply it correctly in life. So anything that seems good or sound good to them, they're easily taken.
African before I am an American. You understand? I'm an African before I'm from the UK. African before I'm Nigerian. African before I'm South African. African comes first. Nothing comes before being African. Nothing comes before being African. One family, one race, one empire, brothers and sisters. This is Revolutionary Rose coming to you live from the FDMG Academy, brothers and sisters. Number two, and these are in no order. Independent.
You know what this building reminds me of? And it's strange because it's not from the outside in, it's from the inside out. But I would still get a comparison. It's like somebody trying to sell a junk car, a lemon of a car. And they do a nice paint job on it, but everything inside is just rusted and corrupted. Nothing works. That's the same thing that this building is. It's just trash that was painted up to look nice in order for the buyer. So that's why they say buyer beware.
In all things, self-determination. Whatever is to be done for black people must be done by black African people, brothers and sisters. No white money, no white participation. No Arab money, no Arab participation.
And Umar Johnson, do not check where the donations are coming from. He says that BS online. They try to make y'all seem like he's all Pan-African, but he's not. Anybody who will send him money, he will take it. He says, no people with a snow bunny being a white girl, white wife. You think if Byron Allen, who's the billionaire, calls him up today and says, hey, Umar, I want to stop by. I believe in your project. I'm going to give you $1 million donation. You think Umar is going to say, oh, no, you have a snow bunny as a wife. Your money is no good here. You can't donate. You really think that? Man, man, I can't even pity you because you deserve it all.
No Chinese money, no Chinese participation. If your organization gets money from another race, it's not a black organization. If your organization got non-African.
Now, first of all, there's no organization that stands up tall in this country that doesn't get money from white corporations, white owned corporations and businesses. It's just not possible. So that's why he's going after the uneducated, lower class of black people, because he knows that they are ignorant to a lot of things. So this all sounds good to them, but this is not how business is done. It's just not. Money does not have a color. Your agenda can have a color, but money does not. And a person who doesn't understand this is a person who can never succeed.
Membership. It's not a black organization. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's stop playing these revolutionary games with each other. You either for the struggle or you not, brothers and sisters. No more playing games. Number 3, your God better look like you. Your God better look like you. Yes, indeed. I don't care what religion you belong to. Pan-Africanism, we believe in freedom of spirituality. Pan-Africanism, we believe in freedom of spirituality, but if you're going to give God a color, if you're going to personify supreme consciousness, if you're going to personify supreme consciousness, if you're going to personify supreme consciousness better look like you. Supreme consciousness had better look like you. Oh, yes. Getting back to self-determination, that means the black family must be built with black people. I said the black family must be built with black people. I said the black family must be built with black people, brothers and sisters. That's right. Black man, black woman, black child. Black man, black woman, black child. There is no snow bunny crisis for the Pan-Africanist. There is no snow bunny crisis for the Pan-Africanist. There is no snow bunny crisis for the Pan-Africanist. Shout out to all my African queens out there, my beautiful African sisters. My beautiful African sisters. Shout out to the queens of North America and South America, the queens of the Caribbean and Europe, the queens of Asia and Australia, the queens of Canada, the South Pacific. Shout out to all my African queens. I can't wait to see my Pittsburgh queens on Wednesday. All my Western Pennsylvania queens, I'll see you Wednesday. My Shreveport, Louisiana queens, I'll see you for the first time next Sunday, January the 30th. My DeSoto, Texas queens, I'll see you on the 29th, 5 o'clock, location coming soon. I will be in DeSoto, definitely, Saturday, January the 29th, 5 p.m. until 7 p.m., DeSoto debut. I will have the location soon. Black family must be black man, black woman, black child. Pan-Africanism says we solve our own problems. We don't need outside help to solve our problems. We don't believe in white paternalism or white maternalism. We don't need white folks to hold our hands. We don't need white folks to give us ideas. We don't need white ideology. We don't need white solutions. We will come up with our own African solutions, brothers and sisters.
You see, that all sounds good, and I believe in that. That all sounds good. But here you have one who is a talker and not a doer. Umar Johnson to date has done nothing for black people. Not one iota of one thing. There's nothing that has been done by Umar Johnson to benefit and forward black excellence and black power, empowerment. Nothing. He offers nothing but words.
Our own African solutions. We can solve our own problems. We don't have to wait for reparations from the government. We don't have to wait for the next election. We don't have to wait until we go to church. We don't have to wait for white money and white membership and white support. We solve our problems ourselves, brothers.
Like I said, this I agree with him on, but like I said, there's no action being put forward. There's just the begging for donations. You put words out there, then you say, hey, I gave these words to you, now give me donations. Give me money for my words. Even though I'm not going to do anything for you, I'm not really going to lay the groundwork for you to understand and see and be the example. But I'm going to give you words. So therefore, that's why he's just a wannabe celebrity and nothing more.
Pittsburgh, DeSoto, and Shreveport. We solve our problems ourselves, brothers and sisters. Pittsburgh, DeSoto, and Shreveport. We solve our problems ourselves. Pan-Africanism says as Africa goes, so goes the whole African world. Pan-Africanism says as Africa goes, so goes the whole African world, brothers and sisters. There is no freedom for the black man in America without freedom for the black man in Africa. There is no freedom for the black man in Brazil without freedom for the black man in Canada. There is no freedom for the black man in Haiti without freedom for the black man in the Bahamas. There is no freedom for the black man in London, England, without freedom for the black man in Paris. There's no freedom for the black man in Paris without freedom for the black man in Germany. There's no freedom for the black man in Germany without freedom for the black man in Ghana. There's no freedom for the black man in Ghana without freedom for the black man in the Gambia. We rise together or we don't rise at all, brothers.
Now, with this said, what foundation is being laid that there's going to be work put ahead of all this talk? Because Pan-African is not just talk. See, true Pan-Africans, they don't talk a lot. They're out there doing the work, laying the foundation. The only one who I could say talk and do lay the foundation at the same time is Malema in South Africa. Outside of him, that I understand or know, the ones who are true Pan-Africans are doing the work. They're not sitting here on YouTube talking every day, begging for donations. They're just not, because the work speaks for itself. By the work that they do, they're able to have people gravitate to them. Just like the what you call it? Oh, I can't get it in my head. With Black Lives Matter, they have a foundation, even though that was as false and fake as can be. The something roots or whatever, but the ground roots, they the ones who do the work in the field. They the ones who put forth the effort and out there and doing it. Even though I think that movement is so misguided and ran by the wrong people, but at least I could see that those people were truly dedicated to what they believed in, that they put the work, they put the effort in. Misguided or not, they put the effort in. This man puts no effort into anything. 9 times out of 10, this guy's talking about cookies, women's cookies. If he's not talking about that, it means that he's running low on cash to go travel or go do whatever it is that he's going to do, anything aside from building. The guy has not built anything. He's not going to. The sooner you understand that, the sooner you can move on to better things and give your time and energy and money to those who are actually out there doing the work.
And sisters, we rise together or we don't rise at all. See, the problem with us, Negroes keep on trying to find a way to lift up their group and leave all the other African families down. It can't work that way because white supremacy is global. I said we got Negroes who keep trying to lift their group. We got Negroes who keep trying to lift their group, brothers and sisters, while all the other groups are down. It don't work that way. We rise together or we don't rise at all. That's Pan-Africanism. We rise together or we don't rise at all. That's Pan-Africanism, brothers and sisters.
Pan-Africanism, once more, is when the work is being put in and there is forward progress that people can see. There's not being idle on the same thing you keep saying for 4 years straight. That is not Pan-Africanism. That is called scammerism. You're scamming. There's nothing real about you. And I know we just got past 32 minutes, but I just wanted to get this started, and I'm going to continue this tomorrow. If you guys want to link in, call in, whatever, I'll have that available to you. And this is StreamYard that I'm using. And if you guys want to debate or whatever, speak on it, we could go face to face, whatever. Whether you're a supporter or just someone who understands that this man is just not real about what he says. So we can do that tomorrow. So we're going to continue with the same video and leave off right where we left at 12:14 mark. The video is 38 minutes and 38 seconds. So we're going to pick up back at 12:14 into the video tomorrow. I hope you guys have a blessed day and hope to hear from you guys tomorrow so we can continue this subject. Thank you and good night.